Good morning. I'm Stephen Toop, and I serve as President and Vice Chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Every year at Congregation, UBC has the honor of bestowing honorary degrees upon individuals who, in the opinion of the university community, have fit the criteria of excellence and eminence in their chosen field. Nora Volkow is one of those individuals, and I invite her now to step forward to receive her honorary degree. Madam Chancellor, in a city where the effects of addiction are sometimes uncomfortably visible, we can appreciate the leaders who strive to understand the disease. Nora Volkow is such a leader. She has devoted her career to studying the health implications of drug addiction. As director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse at the National Institutes of Health in Maryland, Dr. Volkow has played a fundamental role in shaping the direction of addiction medicine research. Internationally recognized for her work, Dr. Volkow's research was instrumental in identifying the addictive properties and toxic effects that drugs have on the brain. Her research has showed that addiction is a disease of the brain and is not about weakness or self-control. Throughout her 30 years as a researcher and doctor, Dr. Volkow has published more than 440 peer-reviewed articles and more than 60 book chapters and non-peer-reviewed manuscripts. She's a pioneer in the use of brain imaging to investigate mental and addictive disorders. She has made contributions to the neurobiology of obesity, ADHD, and the behavioral changes that occur with aging. Dr. Volkow is a strong advocate for evidence-based public policy. She has always stood out among her colleagues for her strong leadership and passionate work. In 2006, Newsweek identified Dr. Volkow in a list of 20 people to watch, and a year later she was named one of Time magazine's top 100 people who shape our world. She's also won the Presidential Citation from the American Psychological Association and the Prix International from France's Institut National de la Santé et de la Recherche Médicale. Madam Chancellor, for her relentless efforts to find what lies at the heart of drug addiction, I ask you to confer the degree Doctor of Science honoris causa upon Nora Volkow.
By authority of the Senate of this university, I confer upon you, Nora Volkow, the title and degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
It now gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Volkow to say a few words.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to me to be here, and I want to thank the University of British Columbia for having given me that opportunity. And the opportunity, I want to congratulate all of you who are graduating today, and I thank you for giving me the chance to enjoy this moment with you. For 30 years of my life, I've devoted my professional life, I've devoted my work to understanding what do drugs of abuse do to the human brain and how that leads to changes in behavior. Why have I done that? Because drugs have devastating consequences to the individual, to society, and to economy. There's been tremendous advances over the past 30 years, and despite these advances, where we now know what are the changes that drugs do and why some people become addicted and others do not, drug abuse and addiction continues to be highly stigmatized, and in many countries, it's persecuted and treated as a criminal behavior as opposed to a disease. And that is why, for me, this particular honorary degree at the University of British Columbia is so important, because this university has played a leadership role, not just in gathering knowledge, but actually taking that knowledge and using it to improve the outcomes of those that are devastated by the use of drugs and by the epidemic of HIV. The University of British Columbia has led the way with strategies that we can now use, if we have the will to do so, and dramatically change the outcomes of today's devastating epidemics, substance abuse and HIV. So I want to thank you all for giving me this degree, but I also want to thank you for your work, and in particular, Dr. Julio Montañez and his group, which has actually transformed and revolutionized the way that we address the HIV epidemic globally. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dr. Volkow.